You can find us on any internet streaming platform of your choosing. Just go there, type in Supertalk 99.7 WTN. You'll find us. And then, of course, there is Supertalk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. It is up and running. And as always, Belkay refuses to participate. I ask him every day, and every day he says no, although he does continue to title the episodes. And today's episode 536 is entitled by Headless Bell.
Matt Murphy reminds you, plagiarism is stealing. Unless you make a career out of it, then it's research for a presidency. Libertarian Lunch, noon to 3.
Is it not fat? You know what? You're right. By the way, I got up while you were reading that and dimmed the lights, and my headphones shocked me 4 times. I don't know what's going on.
That's a built-in feature. You're not supposed to get out of the chair during the segment.
Giddy up. So, if you spend a moment, and I'll include Donald Trump in this, and I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump represents blowing up the swamp and the political establishment. And for that reason alone, I'll support him till the end of the earth. Because I like the chaos. I'm a chaos man. I like to see liberals and establishment folk with their hair on fire. I love it. I love it. I would eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you sit back for a moment, can we do that on this Thursday edition? Where we...
Friday Eve.
Hush your mouth. Where we glance at this from 100,000 feet and you realize, I mean, if someone from outer space descended to the earth and they were sentient and they were, they had an ability to understand what's going on. And they said, well, show us the leader. Show us the guy. Show us the gal. Show us the head honcho. If you had to point to one. And so we would take them over and we would show them the Chinese president, Xi. And they were like, no. The big guy that's elected, not the dictator. I kid about the Xi thing. So we point them to Joe Biden. And this same alien, space alien, not illegal alien, they would love him, the illegal aliens. This same alien looks over the arc of history. And you see that you're dealing with someone who at one time was best buddies with Klansmen, who now claims that he championed the civil rights movement. Someone who has sucked from the proverbial government teat all of his adult life.
You want to see my temper? Keep going.
Oh, I'm going to keep going, Mr. President. I'm just getting warmed up, Mr. Resident. A guy that has lied his entire career to the point that he ran for president in 1988. And he was run out of town on a rail. Well, at least in terms of the presidency, he kept his Senate seat, amazingly. But people did a little digging into his background, and it was established that he was a serial plagiarist. He's a serial liar. And at this stage of the proceedings, he is a dementia-addled, bumbling old man who is obviously being handled by people behind the scenes who are obviously making all of the decisions. He doesn't decide. Who among you, even you liberals, and I love you. I want all the listeners. I don't want just the conservatives or the libertarians. I want all of you. Come on over to the party. Now, you're going to get a strong dose of reality at the party. I promise you that. We're not going to mollycoddle you. There are no crying rooms on the Matt Murphy Show. Who among you defends this? Who actually thinks that Joe Biden is making any decisions? Any decision about anything?
That's a serious question, right?
Well, it is, Joe, big guy. And the beauty of all of this is that they can't do anything about it. And the American people are smart enough to understand that if you put yourself in a position, once again, I've well established my bona fides with regard to Donald Trump, and Trump supporters get their panties all in a bunch if you say anything mildly negative about their guy. But I'm asking you to put yourself in a mindset of people who are not predisposed to supporting Donald Trump. People in Michigan whose families have always voted Democrat. People in Pennsylvania who might live in Philly or Pittsburgh, not in the Alabama in between. People in Atlanta, Georgia, minority groups, people of color who are told that repeatedly told that Donald Trump's racist. Those types of people who maybe suburban moms who have been convinced by lies and subterfuge on the part of the mainstream media that their reproductive rights are somehow under assault. Those people know. They know. Those people, and I thank God for it, are smart enough when they see someone who's not making decisions for the better or worse of the country. It's not even that they're not making the right decisions. And this is where we're going in this presidential contest. For better or worse, does anyone think that anyone supersedes Donald Trump in any decision that he makes? For better or worse? I'm not asking you to agree with the decision. I'm suggesting to you that no one doubts that it's his decision. When Donald Trump stands on a stage and he calls something a bloodbath, by God, that's Donald Trump calling it a bloodbath. Conversely, and starkly polar opposite. For better or worse, you can be the most affirmed socialist on the face of the earth. You could call this radio show, and I invite you to do it, 615-737-9986. You could tell me, dude, I would vote for a pile of dog poo over Trump. I ain't voting for no Republican. You can tell me all of these things, but you cannot look yourself in the mirror and tell me that Joe Biden makes decisions. You know it's not true. For better or worse, you know it's not true. And people have concerns about that. Now, 40% of America, they would vote for any Democrat on the ticket. That's just how they have been conditioned. Sadly, there are many people who have been mentally brainwashed in the United States of America. And I'm sorry for that. And we fight for 3 hours a day to try to break through some of that clutter and clatter and garbage. But for the 20%, and 40% of America will vote for Donald Trump. What did he say back in the day, Bell? That he could shoot a guy on Fifth Avenue and he would still get votes, right? Yeah. 40% of America would be right there. But it's the 20% of America that we're battling for. As frustrating as that is to those of you who engage on a more regular basis on Super Talk and in other arenas, I understand that that's frustrating because you have the depth of knowledge that they don't have. You have an underpinning for your beliefs that they don't have. It's the 20%. So those people have figured it out. Those people have figured out that for whatever reason that I might or might not support Donald Trump, being his own man and making his own decisions, that's not in question. If you vote for Joe Biden, you're accepting that you're voting that someone else gets to make the decisions for the United States of America. And I would be willing to, I welcome anyone to challenge me that my assessment of this situation is incorrect. I welcome anyone to explain to me how I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Joe Biden's not making any decisions for this country. Joe Biden couldn't decide where to go to the bathroom. And I don't say that with any joy in my heart, except that I believe it's going to get him beaten and the Democrats beaten. And I believe that's better for the United States of America and better for you and better for your family and better for your dinner table, better for your livelihood, better for your bank account. The pleasure that I take in exposing this to you is the pleasure that I will take in November watching this country get back on track with, at very least, even if you disagree with every single decision he makes, at very least a guy that's calling the shots, that stands in the arena and for better or worse makes the decisions, stands by his decisions, and let the chips fall where they may. Not some doddering old fool that's been sucking off our tax money for his entire life. It has never been more stark to me.